Taxes could play a major role in your retirement. So why are tax strategies on the back burner for so many?
Joining us to discuss this is the president of a local area retirement planning firm, Mark Cordner, from Golden Years Financial. Good morning, Mark. How you doing?
Good to be with you. Thank you.
Now, I'm pretty sure that you're not psychic.
No.
Good to know. But in your mind and opinion, what's next for this country in terms of how taxes are going to shape up?
Oh my heavens, I'm overwhelmingly convinced that tax rates are going to have to go up, and dramatically at that. I mean, you think about our national debt, you think about these entitlement programs like Social Security and Medicare, they're just dramatically underfunded, and that means we got a train wreck coming because tax rates are going to have to go up to deal with it, and most people aren't prepared for that. Most people believe that tax rates are going to go up, but they haven't done things to avoid that big hit that's coming, and it's going to be Hurtsville. It's a train wreck that's coming in this country.
Yeah. Well, what should we all be aware of when it comes to our taxes and thinking about retirement?
Well, I think the biggest issue really is it's not what we make, it's what we get to keep. And people don't think that way. It's not what we make, it's what we get to keep. And most people are paying far more in taxes in retirement than they need to, and it's just for a lack of information. They just haven't learned better. And so we teach all sorts of classes in the community to help people understand this, free educational classes, to help people understand that this is a serious issue. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. And unless you're feeling incredibly patriotic, where you feel like Uncle Sam's doing such a great job that you ought to tip him, my suggestion is don't pay any more than you have to. Pay what you should. Don't pay more than you have to, because those are otherwise lost opportunities for you and your family, the people you love. So let's keep that money in your pocket.
In your opinion, Mark, why do you think that tax strategy is so frequently overlooked?
I think it scares people, candidly. I mean, there's definitely fear. There's a certain degree of ignorance and a lot of intimidation, because we never learned about taxes in high school or in college for the most part. We've just kind of stumbled our way through it in life. But again, most people are paying more than they should in retirement, and just by addressing these things, 5 to 10 years before retirement at least, is going to put them in a far better position to keep more of their money. Again, it's all about lost opportunities, and as for me, I'd rather spend the money on my children and, God willing, grandchildren someday.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Now, is it common to hear that people think they fall into maybe a lower tax bracket in their retirement years?
Oh my heavens, everyone believes that because we've been trained to. I mean, Wall Street has spent the last 50 years beating this drum, telling us that we're going to retire with less income and therefore in a lower tax bracket, and therefore we should be pushing everything we can into tax-deferred accounts. And the reality is, if tax rates are rising and all of our savings have not yet been taxed, then they're going to be completely exposed to these increasing tax rates. And so yes, most people do believe they're going to be in a lower tax bracket, but the painful reality is that's not the case for most.
Yeah, I fear I already know what the answer is. It's probably going to be like as soon as you can, but when should people start looking at their tax situation when thinking about retirement?
Well, no one wants to hear yesterday, so I would say as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely 5 to 10 years before retirement, there needs to be very conscious thought about how are we going to preserve this money. And taxes are a big part of the bleed on the portfolio. We want to keep as much money as possible. And there's things we absolutely can do legally, we got to emphasize legally, to avoid taxes in the future. And so issues like the Roth conversion are very popular now, and people want to know more about it. And they should learn, because that's a great strategy for safeguarding money in a rising tax environment.
For those who might be unaware, what is that equation?
Well, the Roth conversion is the idea that you may have money that's never before been taxed, and to the degree we're willing to pay the tax now in a historically low tax environment, we can essentially liberate that money never to be taxed again. Now, there's certain rules with it, but the Roth IRA is essentially a great friend for us because it's a tax-free vehicle, and many people can literally retire on tax-free in retirement if they prepare properly, and that takes some time.
Are there any advice or tips you can give to people thinking about even preparing and considering their taxes in retirement?
Well, we don't know what we don't know, so start educating yourself and meet with those who can help you. But again, it's thinking differently. We've got to get away from this thinking about retirement planning is all about getting sexy returns. You don't necessarily have to give up returns to be safer, but we need to think in terms of preserving our assets. And taxes and inflation are a big bleed on the portfolio. And so the sooner we start dealing with it, the better.
Yeah.
And that's why people need to call you sooner than later, because you're the experts who handle all this kind of stuff. Mark, thank you so much for your time this morning. Really, really good stuff.
With you.
The first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or more will receive a complimentary retirement plan just for them, with the opportunity to sit down with Mark and his team to prepare you with a plan for retirement.
The number to call is 702-766-3877. Again, that's 702-766-3877. And for all other info on Golden Years Financial, just visit gyfinancial.com.